Did you know that for centuries, ancient African cities were dismissed as the work of foreigners? What if the truth was far more astonishing? Welcome to the African History Focus channel, where we delve into the untold stories of the continent. Today, we embark on a journey to unearth Africa's lost worlds, exploring sites once shrouded in mystery, now revealing evidence of advanced civilizations and complex societies. Our exploration begins with Great Zimbabwe, a monumental stone city in southeastern Zimbabwe. Flourishing between the 11th and 15th century CE, these are the largest stone ruins in sub-Saharan Africa. But for decades, colonial narratives refused to believe that the ancestors of the Shona people could have built such a magnificent structure. Instead, wild theories about Phoenicians or even King Solomon's mines were promoted. Moving northeast, we arrive at the Gedi ruins, near Malindi on the Kenyan coast. This Swahili town, occupied from the 13th to the 17th century CE, boasts mosques, houses, tombs, and imported ceramics from China and the Islamic world. Gedi's coral rug architecture and sophisticated urban planning reveal a thriving cosmopolitan center, yet its abandonment in the early 17th century remains a subject of debate. Further back in time, the enigmatic raptor beckons. Mentioned in the 1st and 2nd century CE Greco-Roman texts like the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, Raptor was described as a major trading hub on the East African coast. Its exact location remains unknown, though most scholars place it somewhere along the coast of modern Tanzania or Kenya. What secrets does this lost port hold, and what goods flowed through its markets? Our search continues to Punt, an ancient trade partner of Egypt. Best documented in inscriptions from the Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom, particularly Hatshepsut's famous expedition around the 15th century BCE, Punt was a source of incense, gold, and exotic animals. Although its precise location is debated, many scholars link it to the Horn of Africa, encompassing Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, and eastern Sudan. The kingdom of Aksum, in present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, also held tremendous power. Flourishing from roughly the 1st to 7th century CE, Aksum issued its own coins, erected towering stelae, and controlled vital Red Sea trade routes. This was one of Africa's earliest Christian kingdoms, converting officially under King Izona in the 4th century CE. What role did Aksum play in the spread of Christianity across the continent? Turning westward, we encounter the Nok culture of present-day Nigeria. Existing from approximately 1000 BC to 300 CE, the Nok are renowned for their sophisticated terracotta sculptures and early ironworking. Despite their artistic achievements, many uncertainties remain about their social structure and political organization. What can these enigmatic sculptures tell us about Nok society? In South Africa, the Lydenburg heads offer another glimpse into Africa's artistic past. Discovered in 1957 near Lydenburg, now Masheshin, these 7 terracotta heads likely date to around 500 CE. As some of the earliest known sculptures from southern Africa, they provide valuable insights into the region's artistic traditions. Let us not forget Meroe, the capital of the Kingdom of Kush in present-day Sudan. Flourishing from roughly the 3rd century BC to the 4th century CE, Meroe was known for its distinctive pyramids, its iron production, and its powerful queens, the Kandakes or Candaces. How did Meroe become such a significant center of power and innovation? These African mysteries are not evidence of absence, but rather of a deliberate erasure, a colonial historiography that minimized or misattributed African achievements. Great Zimbabwe, for example, was long misattributed to non-African builders, despite local knowledge and oral traditions that clearly identified its true creators. Mapungubwe in South Africa demonstrated a sophisticated elite society as early as 1075 to 1220 CE, challenging the notion that complex social structures were absent in the region. Swahili city-states like Kilwa, Mombasa, Zanzibar, and Gedi were cosmopolitan Indian Ocean trading centers, connecting Africa to a global network of commerce and cultural exchange. Africa was deeply intertwined with global trade networks. The Red Sea trade connected Africa with Egypt, Arabia, and the Roman world. The Indian Ocean trade linked Africa with India, Persia, and China. And the trans-Saharan trade connected West Africa with North Africa and the Mediterranean world. Chinese porcelain found at coastal East African sites, Roman glass and Islamic ceramics discovered at Swahili sites, and gold from inland Africa moving through trade systems to the Mediterranean world all attest to Africa's central role in global exchange. It's vital to acknowledge that many of these sites were not discovered by Europeans in any meaningful sense. Local people always knew these ruins existed, passing down their stories through clan memory, sacred geography, and oral genealogies. However, colonial historians often dismissed oral tradition as less valid than written records, even when it preserved crucial information. The rediscovery and reinterpretation of these African sites have had a profound impact. They challenge colonial historiography, demonstrating that large stone architecture existed in sub-Saharan Africa without external builders. They prove that African states could be wealthy, literate, and technologically advanced. And they reveal that the continent's history cannot be reduced to slavery and colonialism. These discoveries have also reshaped archaeology and heritage studies, fostering greater respect for oral tradition, stronger protection of heritage sites, and a greater emphasis on African-led archaeology. Sites like Great Zimbabwe, Aksum, Meroe, and Mapungubwe have become symbols of pre-colonial sovereignty, cultural continuity, and national pride. They serve as powerful reminders of Africa's rich and complex history. Today, many of these sites are major tourism assets, creating income but also raising preservation issues. Modern curricula increasingly emphasize indigenous African state formation, pre-colonial trade, and achievements in architecture, metallurgy, and governance. However, the repatriation and restitution of artifacts remain ongoing issues, with many objects from African mystery sites still held in foreign museums or private collections. The story of African mystery is not merely about uncovering lost cities and forgotten empires. It's about rewriting history, reclaiming narratives, and celebrating the ingenuity and resilience of African peoples. What other secrets lie hidden beneath the sands and within the ancient ruins of this magnificent continent? The journey has just begun.